Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I'm Ronique, and I appreciate you joining me here on my YouTube channel. Each lunation cycle, we get together and we discuss what the energies are in the universe that affect us here down on Earth. It's always exciting, and I always appreciate you all joining me as we take a look at the transit and the aspects that are affecting us here on Earth. So thank you so much for joining me. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I usually pull some tarot cards as well as talk about the astrology in the first 5 to 10 minutes so you understand what is going on in the astrological world that's affecting us, and then I pull some tarot cards and see how those themes are really played out, and they usually coincide perfectly with the astrology. So today we're going to actually talk about the full moon in Scorpio on April 26, 2021 at 11:31 p.m. Eastern, and we are looking at a super moon this time, which means that the moon is actually closer to the Earth, so it's going to appear larger, and they're actually calling this the pink moon. They say if you catch the full moon as it comes across the horizon, it will actually have like a pink tinge to it. So it will be interesting to see the pictures as different photographers are able to capture this super moon in Scorpio. So let me show you on the astrological wheel where we are at. So the sun is here in Taurus at 7 degrees and 6 minutes, and it sits across the sky from the moon down here in Scorpio at 7 degrees and 6 minutes. And so this is a really interesting relationship because the sun in Taurus is going to be all about our possessions, anything that rules our physical world. So meaning like your home, your security, how you feel, how you make money. This is the first earth sign after the new zodiac year started after Aries, and it rules the second house of possessions. So the sun up here illuminating the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is going to be all about our deepest truths, desires, other people's possessions, which is the 8th house, darkness, rebirth, renewal, and what is hidden and what needs to come to the surface. So I think that this is going to be a really interesting time because the sun sitting across from the moon means that the moon is fully illuminated. And when the moon is fully illuminated, that means that there's usually endings, information can come out, truth can come out. This is going to be a really pivotal time for many people because this Taurus and Scorpio axis is one of like a duality of other people's money in Scorpio versus your own money, Taurus. Possessions, truth, and also like anything that you've been trying to keep secret or someone has tried to keep hidden from you could come out during this time, so be aware. Another thing I want to let you know is we have 4 planets in Taurus right now. We actually have the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus all sitting in Taurus. So this is going to be a very potent time with this whole Taurus axis because anytime you have so many planets, which we call a stellium, anytime you have 3 planets or more in one sign, that sign is going to be magnified. And since this is a super full moon, it's almost like the Scorpio and Taurus combination is going to be very powerful for those who are trying to get more information about maybe you took out a loan, or maybe you're trying to get a job, or possibly you're trying to refinance your house. Anything that's dealing with your possessions and money and job security, just life security are going to probably come up during this Scorpio full moon. Now I want to also let you know that I'm going to tell you the other planets that are actually doing some stuff here. Let me get back my astrological wheel, because this is like one of these times that we're going to really feel this energy. So I already told you about the sun is opposite the moon. The sun is also conjunct Uranus at this time. So the sun and Uranus literally are sitting right next to each other in the sky. So don't be surprised if you have unexpected events come up around your possessions, around your money, around security. Uranus is the planet of change. It can also bring shocking events that happen very quickly. So don't be surprised if that happens at this Scorpio full moon. The moon is opposite Uranus, obviously, because you know it's conjunct. And then Mercury is squaring Saturn at this time as well. And so Mercury is here in Taurus and is actually squaring Saturn in Capricorn. So that could also bring, remember, Mercury rules communication and anything that has to do with information that has to come out. So don't be surprised if you also hear shocking information around possessions. But then with Saturn, it could be things that we need to be taught, or lessons that maybe we still haven't learned, but we're trying to figure out how to make our finances better, how to, maybe there's a job you're going for that you still are learning, that you need more resources. Maybe there's a class you need to take, you're finding out it requires more money. So there definitely is going to be these themes of like resources, money, but also like how do you feel about being able to. Scorpio is always interesting to me because it's like I'm a Scorpio sun and moon, so I always find it interesting because Scorpio to me also means like anything that is deep and hidden. Scorpio tends to like rule those parts of your world. And so it's like you oftentimes don't even know how to voice sometimes how you're feeling with Scorpio season, because Scorpions and Scorpios have this kind of like hidden side to them that you don't share with others. And that's actually why I pulled out this major arcana death card. And you can see here that it's actually like a skeleton head of like an antelope, but you see this growth of a plant coming out. Usually the death card, which is actually number 13 in the major arcana, in the Rider-Waite deck, it's usually depicted by almost a skeleton riding in on a horse, and he has like this flag that he's waving that has like this corn husks on it, like basically symbolizing the death of one cycle and the birth or the harvesting of another. But I like this depiction of death because I actually feel like Scorpio is this sign that helps us figure out what is no longer working. It needs to be almost, you know, it needs to die off. The old version of itself needs to become extinct, just like how you see this skeleton, but there's this rebirth. There's this, you see the plant literally like rising up in the darkness. So it's almost like that phoenix rising. And I want you to think about this theme as we go through this time in Scorpio, because I think for a lot of us, a lot of truths are going to come out that may be uncomfortable to sit with. Scorpio has never been a sign that's easy to sit with. I will tell you from personal experience, me being a moon and sun Scorpio, that I know for myself that I have like deep rooted fears, and a lot of them are like fears that you like just like create on your own. So don't be surprised. And you know, sometimes they have no merit at all, right? But we make these like, we make up these fantasies in our head that, you know, you're afraid of something, you're afraid to try something. I'm going to give you a good example tonight. If you've ever seen my Scorpio soul time before, you know I usually do it in the daylight because I love how the sun comes in this window. But tonight I literally like my laptop was having some kind of problem, and the different app that I used to like be able to mirror the cards wasn't working. And my husband was like, Renique, we're gonna figure it out, don't worry about it. So we like got this light and we got all of my setup, and I was like, oh, I was getting ready to like literally say, okay, I can't do this tonight. But now here I am being able to get over the death of that thought that I wasn't going to be able to move through this. So I think that this is like a really good example of the whole death and rebirth, because I think that as we go through this full moon in Scorpio, please remember, like, things are not always going to be easy in Scorpio season. Like, and when I say Scorpio season, not like down in October, November, but like as we move through these energies, just keep this in mind, because it's going to be hard. Like, everything is not going to be easy peasy in Scorpio season. But the good thing is, with the sun in Taurus, we might find out some really helpful information to help us gain more information around how we can make money. This could be a good time if you are an entrepreneur, if you are trying to go after a new job, if you're trying to move up the ranks in your company. This could be a really pivotal time for you. So I don't want to paint the picture that it's all going to be negative and doom and gloom, but I do want to be honest with you that Scorpio season sometimes is a hard time for many people. So what I'm going to do first is pull an oracle card. And I'd like to do this when we have the Scorpio season, because Scorpio and Taurus season, it's really Taurus season because the sun is in Taurus, but I call it Scorpio season too, because once you have this super full moon, you're going to understand why. So your sacred wealth code oracle cards is what I'm using, and these are all about money and wealth. It says a daily practice to unlock your soul blueprint for purpose and prosperity. So I thought I would pull one of those just so that we can kind of get like a main theme of how things are going to like pan out for us in this full moon in Scorpio. So let me move some stuff over here. I'm going to move that death card off. Bring our candle into focus here. And I'm so like turned around because Scorpios are like a fixed sign. So that's the other thing I want to talk about, is like Scorpio and Taurus are both fixed signs, and we have been in fire energy for a while. They're fixed and okay, so let me back up. Taurus is a fixed sign, but it's a earth sign. So also Scorpio is a water sign and a fixed sign. So what happens when you have earth and water is that you can have some emotional themes come up around things that are earth related. So that's what I'm talking about with the possessions. So don't be surprised if you're feeling very emotional towards your job, money, how you bring in resources. While the fixed energy of both, of Taurus and Scorpio, is going to make us very rigid and not wanting to get out of our normal way of thinking. Remember my story a few minutes ago about me not wanting to film this video because I'm used to like one way of thinking? Same exact scenario. So just keep that in mind through this Scorpio Taurus time, that you might not feel comfortable with everything. You might have to try new things. You might have to bring death to one way of thinking to be able to come out better on the other side. Okay, so the celebrity. Okay, so let me read this oracle. So this one actually says the celebrity, and it's ruled by the sun. And I really like that because the sun energy is in Taurus. So this is really positive because, I mean, the sun is like the brightest, most powerful, planet, if you will, in our solar system. So this is a really positive energy. And it says, I lead with my light. So charismatic, imaginative, luminous, confident, authentic, inspiring, passionate, magnetic, impactful, public, fashionable, independent, noble, generous, and unique. So I really like this energy of the celebrity because everyone knows that, you know, usually this is related to like Leo, who tends to be like very confident and, you know, self-assured. But I think that this is a really positive energy as we're going into this full moon in Scorpio, because it's almost like our spirit guides are telling us, like, you're gonna need to be more confident with yourself, because you probably are going to feel, you know, you're gonna get those kind of like thoughts of despair and kind of like things are ending. Like, no one really loves things to end, but then after you come through it, you feel better about where you've come from. And so I think this Celebrity Sun card is a really good oracle card to kind of make us realize, like, we still have like so many things to be proud of in this season. I think if we can all get through this in a positive way, this is going to be a really nice energy to come through. I lead with my light. I really like that. So I'm going to put that over here. And then tonight we're going to use one of my favorite decks, which is the Modern Witch Tarot. And then we will use the Golden Wheel Tarot as clarifiers, okay? So, and I'm gonna also pull these off and do our wheel, do our, what am I trying to say? Do our singing bowl to bring in positive energy and just to get all of our negative thoughts and energies out. As I'm doing this, I like to close my eyes and just think through what kind of energy I'm trying to pull in. I don't know if you all can hear it, but I literally hear I hear a helicopter going by. So that almost was like the spirits like telling me, like, breathe, relax, wait till the helicopter goes by. Okay. Thank you, spirit guides. Okay. All right, so I think I was a little anxious before, so I feel a lot better now. All right, you all, so let's get into this. So as I shuffle the deck, I'm gonna think through, where is it in this full moon in Scorpio do the spirit guides want us to tap into? What information do we need to know? What information will help us be able to almost like see through some of the illusions and things that may come up during this time? Remember, I told you Scorpio very much rules kind of like mental health and like the psyche and like almost like the underworld. So it's important to really take time for yourself during this Scorpio full moon period. If you're able to exercise, you know, I've heard some people say, you know, take spiritual baths, you know, with salt crystals and anything that's going to help detoxify your body in a healthy way. This would be a good time, you know, to meditate. Any kind of self-help, self-cleansing type rituals are really good during this time, because it is a time of death and rebirth. So you really want to like let go of anything that's not working for you. This might be a good time to do a detox. and even just a digital detox. Not always, you know, a physical detox is fine too with, you know, healthy herbs or green teas, but also maybe, you know, pick something that you've just been kind of going overboard with and figure out how you can maybe take a break from social media or maybe not be on your phone so much. So I definitely think this is a really good time for all of us to figure out what is no longer serving us, what needs to die, and what needs to grow in this Scorpio full moon cycle. So I'm going to pull a past, present, and future spread. And I just heard, look at the bottom card. So we actually have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So that's already symbolizing lots of information, lots of things going on, but with it being in reverse, you might be very impatient with lots of things going on. So that's a very interesting energy, because sometimes the 8 of Wands is one in which things are speeding by, text messages, maybe you have too many meetings to go to, you're just feeling strapped and stressed. With it in reverse, you might not be able to actually focus well. And I think that that's a very good lesson learned as we go through this Scorpio and Taurus time, because I think that we all need to figure out ways to relax. Remember, I just said the detoxing and the slow down. That reverse of 8 of Wands is like telling you like things are speeding by, but with it being in reverse, it's time to slow things down. But you might not really be happy to slow things down. It might be difficult to slow things down. So keep that in mind, okay? All right, so we're going to cut the deck one more time. Do a past, present, and future. And I want you to think through, what is it in your world that you need help moving on from? Okay, so in the past, we have the 4 of Swords. So it sounds like you needed to rest from something mental, time to take a break from something. That also is a card that comes up when your health could be something that you haven't been taking care of yourself. That was in the past. In the present, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Always a good card, 6 of Pentacles, which means you're either going to be gifting someone something or someone's going to be sending you something. Pentacles are that Taurus energy. So many of you, like I had said, are maybe looking for a job. You might go on a job interview. Someone might gift you information, resources. So that's a really great card to see in the present. And in the future, look at that. We have the 4 of Pentacles. And it really makes sense that we're getting all these Pentacle cards, because remember I said both Taurus and Scorpio have to do with materialism, possessions. Scorpio is more other people's money, so that might be, like I said, a job. But 4 of Pentacles usually has to do with you being concerned that maybe you're not able to hold on to money. So I think that that's really important too in this Scorpio full moon, because I want you to remember that your possessions are one of those things that if you hold on to it too tightly, you won't be able to attract more. And so I think that everybody usually talks about how they wish they had more money, but sometimes you're holding on to the money you have too tightly. Money is actually meant to recirculate, meaning it is meant to be spent, but like in a honest and high vibrational way, meaning like you're not just going out and buying frivolous things, but you're investing in the future, or you're helping someone in need. That's also what this 6 of Pentacles is. So we'll talk about it a little more as we go through, but I think I can already tell like this is really fitting for our Scorpio full moon. So in the past, we have the 4 of Swords, and the 4 of Swords is representative of all of the air signs. So air signs can be Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So there could be some kind of maybe one of those signs of people around you need a rest from, or it could be you needing to take a break mentally from something in the past. This could be a sign that you actually need to rest and recharge and just get more back into yourself. With this being in the past though, I'm almost taking that this could have been in the Aquarius time of the first part of this year when we had that stellium of planets in Aquarius. And remember, we still have Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. So this could definitely be like you need some kind of break from all of the mental maybe anguish that you've been going through, or you've just been like in analysis paralysis and been thinking through things too much. So I'm glad to see that in the past, because it definitely means like we are moving away from that. The Six of Pentacles in the present is a really positive card, because I feel like there is all of this energy around really honing in on how can you help other people? How can you find resources to either give to someone, or maybe you are someone who needs resources. And like I said, you're going on job interviews, or you are looking for a job. And this is a really positive energy, because it feels like there's definitely opportunity out there. That's another thing with the Six of Pentacles. I sometimes call it the have and have nots. Like those who have something are going to be able to give to those who don't. And if you're someone who has if you're an employer and you actually have, too much work, but you have plenty of resources, maybe it's time to hire people. So this is really a good energy for this Taurus, and Scorpio full moon, because this is signifying to me that there are opportunities out there. So if you are someone who's looking for a job or looking for help, this is a really positive energy. You just need to ask your spirit guides how you can, take actionable steps to be either looking for a job, networking, if you need to get on LinkedIn, if you need to, go put some feelers out at, different places that you used to work at, or people you used to know, or you need to take some classes in order to get better qualified. This is a really great energy for this full moon in Scorpio. And then in the future, we have this Four of Pentacles that I was touching on. And I think the thing about the Four of Pentacles also is the lower vibrational of the Four of Pentacles could be like you're hoarding, like you're literally like trying to hold on to your money so tightly that you're forgetting that you actually need to let it circulate. Like Four of Pentacles could be like you're not letting in enough room for positive money flow. And especially as you can see, like she's balancing one on her head, she's holding one, her 2 feet are on the other ones. Like she doesn't want to even like let any piece of pentacle out of her sight. That's not always a good energy in terms of being able to attract more money. So if you are someone who is like, they say energy goes where energy flows, or I might have that backwards, but basically like if you focus on not having money, you're going to have more not having money. If you can focus on attracting more money and letting go of some of these pentacles and realizing like you're still going to need to attract, the other things that are important in life. It doesn't always have to be money. It can also be just resources. It can be time. It could be energy. So just think through where you're at in your life right now and just figure out if this seems like this is playing out in any part of your life, because I actually just feel like there is an important lesson to be learned here with this pentacle energy. But I'm excited to see that pentacle energy, because that also means that as we are entering into this super moon in Scorpio, that there may be almost like a recharge or resurgence, if you will, of like the this positive energy around our resources. And I think most everyone can say that, you know, having a little more money in your pocket never hurt anyone. So I think that's a nice energy to see. So now we're going to clarify the Four of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. I'm going to move these kind of over to the side so we have some space. All right. And let's see what the cards can clarify for us with that Four of Swords in the past, Six of Pentacles in the present, and Four of Pentacles in the future. Now, one thing I did forget to tell you all is that on April 27th, which is the day after this full moon in Scorpio, and actually some people will actually experience the full moon on the 27th because it is at 11:31 p.m. Eastern. So for those of you you know, more east than New York and the Eastern Coast, you'll experience this on April 27th. But on that day, Pluto is actually going to go retrograde from April 27th to October 6th. So this is like a really big deal because Pluto going retrograde is like the ruler of Scorpio. And so this is going to be a good time for like shadow work. Possible hidden information could come to the surface, but this is like 6 months worth of time. So I'm just letting you know, like, that's another reason why this Scorpio, that's why I keep calling this kind of like Scorpio season, because it feels like many of the themes that normally would come up during Scorpio season in October, late October and early November may come up now. And it's actually going to take 6 months all the way up until October, like literally like the very like ending, if you will, around Libra season of when it finally will go direct again. So don't be surprised if themes that come up now here at this April 26th, 27th Scorpio full moon, don't be surprised if it takes until the new moon in October, November to hash out some things, or maybe you're just starting to see glimpses of information now. Don't be surprised if they're not hashed out right away. So that's really important with Pluto, because Pluto is like a very slow moving planet. So that's why it's going to take so long for Pluto to actually come out of retrograde. So let's clarify the Four of Swords. We actually get the Four of Cups in reverse. Interesting, we're getting a lot of fours. That's already the third four. We got Four of Cups, Four of Swords, and Four of Pentacles. So I'm sure there definitely is something there with the fours. That's interesting. Six of Pentacles. Let's clarify what that means. Thank you, spirits. Oops, that one just fell out. So let's see what that is. Ah, the Hierophant. That's the number 5, major arcana. So something, a ruling institution, could be a boss, it could be your job, but it also could be, you know, income taxes or anything that's like a ruling government. But that's really great to see with the Six of Pentacles, because that could mean like money is coming your way from a higher institution. So that's really positive. And lastly, let's clarify the Four of Pentacles in the future. Four of Pentacles. Oh, and there it goes. Six of Swords in reverse. Clarifying the Four of Pentacles. That's kind of interesting. And I heard the bottom card. Look at that, the Lovers. And that is the 6 major arcana. So we'll get back to that in a moment. So let's look at this. This is interesting, y'all. Okay, so let's look at this Four of Swords with the Four of Cups. So I'm going to show you the Four of Cups first in an upright position. So the Four of Cups usually shows a person sitting under a tree, and like there's this hand, almost like it's from the universe, handing them a cup, but almost like they're meditating or they're not paying attention, like an offer is coming in, but they're not paying it any mind. So you can see this man sitting here, and he looks like he's like down and sad. There's these Four Cups here, but with it in reverse, this almost to me is symbolizing like there's some kind of emotional, almost like some kind of offer of maybe emotional help, or someone around you wanted to give you something, but you weren't really paying attention to it, but maybe you were exhausted from all of the mental anguish or mental gymnastics that you've been doing over these last few months. With these both being fours, I'm almost getting this energy of what is it in your life that you need to not only take a rest from, but possibly are you giving too much of yourself emotionally to either someone that you're like ignoring, or someone's trying to give emotional or mental information to you that you're ignoring, and it's almost like you need a rest. Like both of these are like, this is too much. You're not freely taking on anyone's information, ideas. This is some kind of mental, emotional energy that you just kind of like are done with. Like you don't want to hear any more about it. So, you know, that might resonate with you, but with it being in the past, I think it is a positive sign, because it seems like you've moved away from that energy. That could have been in the very beginning of this year during Aquarius time, like I said. But I definitely think there's something that you're moving away from mentally or emotionally that you're just tired of even thinking about, and you're happy to be here in the present. So the Six of Pentacles, I already talked about, and the Hierophant, which is the 5 in the major arcana. I think it's interesting, the depiction of the Hierophant here, because it usually is like the Pope, and he's like standing at the like the front of the church, and you can only see the back of the two people who are, you know, like working in the church. And here the Hierophant is almost like this very wise man, but he has like almost like those totem poles in the back of him, so it's almost symbolizing like these generations of like wealth of knowledge, you know, wisdom, whatever. So it's more of that some entity over you is like going to almost like bestow you some kind of either riches or information. And so this is really important with the Six of Pentacles, because I really am feeling like many of you are going to come into either a job offer, or maybe a promotion, or some entity is going to offer you some kind of beneficial resources. So this is really exciting, because I feel like with me talking about the whole Taurus and Scorpio, this is like really showing like this is like the energies are here in the present for possibly you coming into money or resources. And lastly, here in the future, we already talked about the Four of Pentacles. The Six of Swords, I'm going to show you. And you see the Six of Swords has this adult with this child, and they're like moving closer to, like, you can tell they used to be in the forest, and now they're looking forward to like more clearer skies, or clearer a future that looks like it's not quite so hidden and scary. And you can see the child kind of looking over their shoulder as if like someone used to be following them, and they're like running away. The Six of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck usually shows like adult and child in a boat, and they're usually like someone is steering the boat to clearer shores. And so this is like a positive card from the standpoint of like moving away from something that is not no longer serving you. But with it in the reverse, maybe you're having some apprehension. Maybe it has to do with something dealing with your money that you have been, like I said, you've been holding on too tight, or you're not knowing like how to use your money in a positive way. And maybe you're actually looking forward to moving past, it could be debt too. I just heard debt. So that could be like, maybe you've been trying to figure out how to get out of debt, or you've been having bills and bill collectors after you, and you're just like happy to be moving on from that negative place, and you're like looking forward to being in a more resourceful, being able to think through how to spend your money better. I think that with this being in reverse, there's still going to be like some apprehension, meaning like you might not be fully like ready, like how the adult is like ready. You might be more like this child, like you're still looking over your shoulder like, I don't really know if that's the right way to do it, but you're still learning. So this is like still positive to me, because it symbolizes that with that Six of Pentacles and that Hierophant, maybe you're being given the resources now to be able to move to this point where you know how to use your resources better. Maybe something in the past also got you in a bad mental, emotional state, and it's just taken to now with this Scorpio, Taurus time to be able to realize like that's in the past. Let's move forward in a more positive way. So I think this is really good. So lastly, I'm going to just talk about this Lovers card, because I think the Lovers card is always interesting. I can never pick up the cards without like messing up the entire spread here. The Lovers card is interesting in this deck because you see how it's this man, and then there's like these two women, but they're both representing like almost like the yin and yang, like maybe one is good and one is like maybe not so good, but it's like up to him to figure out which way to go. I think this is an interesting way to depict the Lovers card, because you can see the rocks down here, as if like if he chooses to be with this woman, like it's possible that she's gonna lead him to like some other life he shouldn't be going to, while over here she's like represent, you see the snake down here, so this could also represent a life that he might not want to partake in. But with the mountains in the back, it's almost like this symbolism of where is it in your life that you need to rely on others, or you need to partner with others, or you need to trust your own instincts as to where to go. And with it being the sixth, the Lovers, so that's Gemini. So this could also be a nod to when we move into Gemini season, which actually is this next season after Taurus. We might be seeing like some relationship themes come up, some communication around relationships, or this could still go back to your work. This could be like you pairing up with teams, colleagues. It might have to do with this Six of Pentacles, because this is six, the Lovers, and Six Pentacles. So there is, I'm almost feeling like there might be something coming up in this Gemini season as we move into May and June around like relationships. And especially with this Six of Pentacles, you know, the have and have not card, I'm having this like strong feeling like a lot of you are going to be like embarking on either a new job, a promotion. You all might get moved to a different area of your work, something dealing with like working with people, but having to make a decision as to like how you work with them. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm not feeling it so much right in like the present, but this almost feels like, especially as the two women are like looking each way, it's almost like someone's looking to the past and someone's looking to the future. So I think that that Lovers card is going to play out in Gemini season. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I really think this is a positive reading, you all. I think that we definitely have moved away from some negative kind of like self-sabotage type stuff going here. And I feel like there's resources heading our way, especially with that Sun oracle card saying I lead with my light. I think that's a really great energy to take into this Scorpio full moon, because with this Eight of Wands in reverse, there's still like lots going on, you all. Like, you're gonna have to take some time for yourself. You can move on to some better energy, but it's going to take some work. It's definitely going to require all of us to not think that everything is just going to be like, you know, just falls into place. There's going to be some work that has to be done, but there definitely is an energy of like the universe is like conspiring to help us. So I think that that's a great energy, especially coming into this Scorpio full moon. And it's a super moon, you all. So I can't wait to hear how all of you use this energy, and I look forward to seeing you all next time on Scorpio Soul Time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.